Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Successfully Educated. Today we're going to be talking about comics. Okay, so comics are really cool because they help us to understand and see ourselves and the world a little bit differently. So, with that, there's such a rich history that comes with comics, and they actually just started as newspaper funnies in the very beginning, back in the 1930s. We're almost coming up on like 100 years of comics being around, which is quite exciting. So, we're going to be taking a look at, and we're actually going to be exploring getting the chance to read comics over the next couple of classes. So, in order to do that, we want to take a look at really why comics. And that's going to be a big question that we're really going to be looking at and really trying to find the answer to as we go through this unit. So, many of us know, or at least have heard of, people that are comic related, such as this guy. You could probably tell me who he is. This is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. And a lot of people could probably tell me who this guy is as well. Tom Holland Spider-Man. And this guy, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. All three of these guys have played a very prominent role in cultural popularity ever since Spider-Man No Way Home came out. And they've consistently rose and really brought a lot of light to comic stories. Now, a lot of people also could probably tell me who this guy is, even though some of his popularity has faded a little bit since. It's been a while since the movie came out. But this is Miles Morales' Spider-Man, and he came out in 2011, and then just recently had the Into the Spider-Verse movie back in 2017, I believe that was. Don't quote me on that. Now, not many people would be able to accurately tell me who this is. Many people would probably have forgotten her name by now, since their introduction to her was through the Into the Spider-Verse movie. But this is actually Penny Parker. And then there's also this one here, which is Spider-Woman. Then we also have other ones that get a little more outlandish, like Spider-Bun. Also, side note, Spider-Woman, I believe, is supposed to be in the new Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse movie. So that's kind of exciting to look forward to. But she had her own TV show back in the day and has really been a very prominent leader and figure within the Spider-Verse. Spider-Bun, not so much, but has been one that has had a lot of popularity, just for being one of the weird comics that has made fun of a lot of the Spider-Man tropes. And then, of course, Spider-Ham, who also gained a lot of popularity through the Into the Spider-Verse movie. So, I say all this just to say that this is something that is very grounded and familiar when it comes to comics and exploring comics and really looking at how comics have really impacted our culture right now. So, what I would like for you guys to continue to think about as we discuss and explore and really take a look at comics is why. Why are we exploring comics in this class? Why do we want to look at comics? Why do we want to explore and learn more about them? Why in this class specifically? I'll tell you guys the answer a little later, but first, what I would like for you guys to do is I would like for you guys to get into groups of 4, and what we are going to do is I would like for you guys to get into groups of 4, and then we are going to continue with our discussion of comics. So I'll give you guys a second to do that. Okay, now, before we go any further with looking at comics, the first thing we want to talk about is how to read comics. Reading comics is definitely an art form. It works a lot differently than you would watch a movie or read a book. Because when you read comics, the pages don't look like what you're used to. They look like this. And this can be very overwhelming if you're like me, who kind of likes to read a book and open up the book and see the words on the page and like let my imagination run wild. But what I will say is that once you've trained your brain to really look at comics, you start looking at them differently. You start to be able to read them like this. Even though there's a ton of things on a page, you're able to focus on one single panel and be able to take that in. And then you're able to go to the next panel, and then the next panel, and then the next panel, and then the next panel. And you're able to really look at it in that sense. So that's really how your brain starts to shift and read comics differently. Even though you're looking at a full page, you're able to really zone in on the individual panels, and it starts reading like a movie. So some other things that we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a look at things to look out for when it comes to reading comics, and then some important considerations to take into effect. So with comics, there's a lot that goes on in them. And so one of the things that you have to really start working on is really just being able to focus on one thing and then move to the next thing and then move to the next thing. And then you start to get faster and faster with reading comics, and then you start to really enjoy it for the story that it is. So we're going to only be reading 5 issues, very short, origin stories, and there's 3 origin stories that we're going to be taking a look at. Miss Marvel, No Normal by G. Willow Wilson. Ultimate Comics Spider-Man by Brian Michael Bendis. And Nova Origins by Jeff Loeb. Okay, before we go any further, what I need for you guys to do is I need you to head over to Google Classroom, and I need you to open up the assignment titled Intro to Comics. And then what I would like for you to do is choose one person to make a copy of this doc and then share it with the rest of the group. Once you guys all get on, I'd like for you all to put your names in the boxes where it says group numbers, and then I'd like you to group members, and then I would like for you to answer the step 1 question. Why are we exploring comics? So I'll give you guys a second to do that, if the video would pause for a second. So one of the main focuses of this class is going to be social emotional learning, which involves 5 categories, being self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship building, and responsible decision making. Anyway, so these are the 5 categories of social emotional learning. With this, this is really the foundation of this class and what we are exploring in this class. So as we're doing self-discovery, we are really learning about ourselves and how our emotions work. We're learning how to manage ourselves and our time very effectively. We're learning how to navigate when interacting with the world around us and understanding and expanding our minds. We're learning how to build relationships and the best ways to build relationships with others in order to help really achieve our goals. And we're also learning how to make really good decisions that we can use as we navigate towards the future. So what I would like for you all to do in your groups is I would like for each group to choose one of these categories to explore deeper and further. So take a second, decide, and then first come, first serve, you are going to choose the category that your group would like to explore. Now, you will be presenting on these, so be prepared for that as you are choosing what you would like for your group to explore. I'll give you guys a second. We'll pause the video here for a minute. All right, cool. So we got our groups all picked. Perfect. Okay, so now we can move on to step 2. Now that you have your topics chosen, if you'd please put them in that little box below. So if you'd please put your, topic right here in this box here. And then if you would, as a group, generate 4 questions about your topic. So think about how we talked about last quarter, how they should be focused on open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are really big research questions that we're able to take a look at and really dive into deeper than those closed-ended questions, which tend to be more yes or no or one simple answer questions. So come up with 4 questions about your topic. And then after your group has come up with those 4 questions, you're going to copy and paste those questions into the research question boxes below. And then you're going to put 3 to 4 bullet points of information in the notes section, and you're going to put links to any sources that you find. If you guys have any questions, you can feel free to let me know. And then once you have finished with step 4, then you're going to turn it into a slideshow. There's more information on that down here. And the final thing that I'm going to have you do is a quick little Google form so that you can decide which comic you would like to read. Hope this helps, and we'll see you next time.